What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. We got a real lit episode tonight, y'all. I got my man EB with me. What's good, bro?
Man, I'm beating your ass in this fantasy football. But that's about it. What's
up? Whatever, man. We gonna see how the season play out, bro. Don't get ahead of yourself. I got my man Jay on the line. What's good, bro? What's up with you?
What's good, fellas? I'm much looking to get into this lit episode tonight, but got a couple of things to announce here. Number one, we just hit a new milestone in 9,000 followers. So well over 9,000 now. So new milestone. Hey, let's try to get us to 10,000 before the year's up. That's the goal right there. Another thing I want to announce: we actually been nominated from the Black Podcast Awards here. We've been nominated for 2 categories. We've been nominated for the Best Black Relationship Podcast and Best Black Sex Relationship Podcast. So, maybe we can win them. Maybe we win them both. But hey, for what's worth, I hope we win one of them. I think it's pretty dope that we're being considered and nominated for this here.
Definitely appreciate the love and the feedback, man.
For real.
Yep. Just also want to quickly remind you, catch us on Grind City TV. That's 7 p.m. Tuesday nights, and you can download it on your Google Play app. All right, T.
I also want to remind y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the core94.com. I want to give a shout out to my man Brother Soul Production for keeping us laced with our background audio. And I want to give a shout out to all of y'all that support the podcast by giving donations through our PayPal and our Cash App. We definitely appreciate it. We definitely need the funds to keep the podcast moving and growing. Tonight we got a episode. Tonight we're going to be talking about planning trips to Poundtown. We have a sex educator that's going to be coming on to drop some gems. Lady. Yeah. So we figured that the title would be appropriate. But before we get into all that, around here we like to discuss some things that we see on the trending topics list. So what we got to talk about this week, EB?
So everyone, if you hadn't seen it, we're going to tell you about it right now. There was a Brazilian soccer player. His nickname is called the Hawk. And he impregnated his ex-wife's niece. Crazy.
Now, just the headline alone is trifling. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's anybody that's just off limits, it's gonna be some your ex-wife's niece. Now, I don't know if they have kids, but I really don't think that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the niece gets blamed in this as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
Like,
but she young though, and she wanted, and she chasing that money. You gotta understand, man. Like these young girls, they want that lifestyle. They want that money. Right. So of course she probably flirting with him and shot at him and all that good stuff. But I mean, hey, I see a lot of family members that of the opposite, significant other. They be looking good, but you can't touch that, man. You gotta leave that bitch.
Out of all the women you can date, bro, your ex's niece, like, how does that make you look to if you got kids, bro? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And
that's some Jerry Springer type shit.
Now you still connected to the family in some way, shape, or form. But you know what? I'm willing to bet that they were messing with each other before the divorce happened. I'm sure something.
That might be the reason they got divorced.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to think that it's very likely that they're the reason that they got divorced in the first place. So that's just scandalous all the way around. You know what I mean? Like messy to the 10th power.
But again, y'all. I mean, I ain't coming to neither one of their defenses, but you got to think about it. You never know. She probably knew the ex-wife was cheating on him and then slid in there because a lot of women do shit like that. They'll see one man, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie, I had a chick do the same thing. She knew homegirl was kind of doing some shit on me, and she was kind of like, well, you know, you shouldn't take that and all in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fuck with me. You know? Wow. Women to do that shit, man, when they see a good man, bro. So, hey, it seemed fucked up, but we really don't know the whole story, though. We really don't.
I mean, I still think you gotta have boundaries as a man.
Well, fact.
Like you gotta be able to resist a chick that's underage, even if she's fine, even if she's attractive. Like, it's just certain shit like that you have to be able to do, and not getting in a serious relationship with your ex's niece is one of them.
Terry. What? So if your wife, let's say your wife cousin just some badass chick, and she just say, Terry, come here, and it's just you and her, and she's on the turn.
Well, okay. There's a big difference between giving in and having a sexual encounter with somebody and having a serious relationship to where y'all got a baby. Terry, you know what I mean?
Like, you didn't answer that question though, Terry.
You already
don't go around the question.
But don't fucking with
the point is, if somebody getting horny and doing something while they was too drunk or not being able to resist the moment, that's one thing. Seriously dating and going public and making an announcement to the world on something like that.
So you telling me it's okay to just make out and having a hot sex moment?
No, I did say that.
But it's not.
I said it's very different. I said it's very different than a serious relationship. Doing either one of those things with your ex's niece is foul as hell. But I can understand a person doing. They was at the party, they was smoking, and it happened. That's a lot more understandable than you having a long-term serious relationship with that same individual.
I mean, you about to go ahead and get married.
It's the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony. Like, they both crimes, but there's different levels to each one.
It's a good analogy.
All right, so let's keep the ball rolling now. This have me rolling. What else we got, EV?
This one about to be funny. So we're gonna play this clip, y'all. And this is a guy that he's a master cheater. Wait till y'all hear what he's saying, and you're gonna bust out laughing, I promise you.
I feel like God uses me to punish women who aren't living according to their purpose, and he uses them to bless me. I don't know why God works the way he does. I was cheating to protect her feelings. I'm doing it for her. Cheating saved my relationship for years. I would have left that bitch after a month if it had not been for cheating. Cheating really came in and saved the day, because when I was cheating, I was happier. My girl was happier. I'm meeting new women. I'm networking. And as I'm more fulfilled of a person, that allows me to be a better partner. I get to come home happy and refreshed. You work your day job Monday through Friday, and then your side chick is the weekend. That's how you get refreshed for your relationship. What if you had to work 7 days straight with no break? That's what a relationship is.
Wow.
Yo.
Now what I saw is
I would have been left that bitch.
Bro, his facial expression is so serious. I couldn't tell if this was a comedian making a skit or if this dude is dead ass serious. You know what I'm saying?
Find this shit at. That shit crazy.
He sound like he mean that from the bottom of his heart.
Right.
And you know what make it funny? There's a lot of truth to what he's saying, man.
Yes, there is.
We talk about all the time about like the thrill and the excitement that come with cheating or fucking somebody you ain't supposed to be fucking, etc. So what he's describing is really accurate, you know, and in a lot of situations, the side piece is the glue that holds it together. Because I just put up a question on my story. To dudes with side dude experience, what was your craziest experience? Bruh, some of the stuff that these dudes is sending in this stories I done busted in her mouth, and she, she came to my house Christmas morning and woo, like just all kind of crazy situations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely a lot of truth. Like you said, because most men like the thrill of getting new pussy, right? Most men like that. So I don't know if this is a chick that's consistent or this is new pussy that he has on the weekends. I'm not sure, but it's probably makes him happy. Like, yeah, I don't tore this pussy up, or I'm about to tear this new pussy up this weekend, and then I'm just gonna go back to my girl like nothing happened.
I mean, that is what he described. I've never heard verbalized before. But it was very funny to hear him say, "It made me a better man. I come back refreshed." You know what I'm saying? Like it sound like a fucking commercial for cheating. You know what I mean?
I mean, she probably was doing stuff his girlfriend, his girlfriend ain't doing. Some of that stuff his girlfriend won't do, she probably doing.
But we know the energy would be way different if it was his girl getting her back blown out.
Oh, no doubt.
But I thought this was really funny because a lot of dudes really do believe stuff like this, when they cheating. The only reason that I've ever cheated was because I wasn't satisfied with what I was getting out the relationship. You know what I mean? Like I've never done it. I don't know. I was doing it to make you a better woman.
So like, all right, when you did it, you didn't go home and feel better. Did you go home and feel bad after you did it?
Oh no, I didn't feel bad. Like, nah, I mean, I felt like it was justified because I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and I wasn't getting my needs met. Prior to that, when I was before marriage, like I only had a couple of girlfriends, so It ain't like I had a whole bunch of chicks to cheat on. You know what I mean? Like I don't have very many ex-girlfriends. So prior to marriage, I was a single for the most part, and a couple of times that I did have a girl, I just cheated. You know what I'm saying? Because it was what I was used to doing, and fucking one chick wasn't really my idea. You know what I mean? I kind of got backed into them relationships.
Yep.
What about you, EB? When your cheating situations, did you feel any of the things that dude described?
I really when I cheated, it was more of a revenge type shit. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, I really wasn't cheating. To me, I feel like I wasn't cheating because I was single. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of women, they feel like if you fuck them one time, you shouldn't be fucking nobody else. But if I did ever cheat,
it's an unspoken rule too.
Right. So if I ever did some cheating, it was on some revenge shit. Because I had an ex, she fucked over me. She did. And then I ain't gonna lie, I cheated on her ass. I was trying to fuck her friends and everybody. I didn't care. But I mean, it didn't. My heart went so cold, I didn't give a fuck no more. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and then she ended up finally saying, you know what, I can't deal with this no more. Okay, like I was done anyway. Been done when you first cheated the first time. I was just doing some revenge type shit.
That's toxic, bro. I'm glad you outgrew that. Let's keep things rolling, man. Let's get to some of these DMs. Those of y'all that would like to get our opinion on your question, you can hit us up on our Hold a Husband Podcast DM Instagram page, and you might make it on the show. What we got this week, Jay?
We got our first session. We got Gabs from the boot, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Who?
Okay.
We got Gabs.
Baton
Rouge.
Big Raggedy.
It's my hometown, man.
But she wants to know, can a man love a woman and still want to talk to other females while we're with you? Oh, kind of run over that in all that shit.
Absolutely. It happens all the time. Like men can compartmentalize and they don't connect love to all these other activities. So when a man loves a woman, all that really means, ladies, listen very carefully. It is going to allow him to do things for you that he would not do for chicks that does not love. He's going to be willing to use the resources at his disposal on you when he don't have to. and he's gonna put up with shit from you that he would not deal with from nobody else. That's what love really means from the male perspective. It don't mean he's never gonna think about other women or none of the hopeless romantic shit people be preaching on the internet.
I agree.
I agree. I say so into that men could, because a man, like, when females think when a man has sex with another woman, they automatically think, oh, if you love me, you wouldn't have sex with somebody else. But that's not the case. A lot of times it don't even have nothing to do with you. A lot of times it's A, he want to get some new pussy, or B, he want to see if he still got it. If he's in a relationship.
That's true.
Or it could just be he was in a predicament to bust a nut. Like a lot of times we assign all this additional thought and background theory to it, but it's really not like that. It's really impulsive. You know what I mean? Like in a lot of situations where I know I could think of several times where I just tried some shit and I didn't expect to be fucking. Like, damn, I can't believe she really sucking my dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just was shooting my shot, So it's not always because men don't control the sex. We just get lucky in a lot of cases. Yeah. Now, if you intelligent, you can take a situation where you had an encounter and maintain it for long periods of time or repeat it. But the initial thing is it's always luck for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's been times I've been in that position. So I mean, hey, I understand. Some
where you would love the chick so much where you couldn't mess with nobody else.
No.
Well, that's what the question was about. Was she was saying like, can a dude love you and still want to talk to other chicks or mess with other chicks?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can still love somebody and still want to talk that. That's what I mean. Like,
oh, okay. I thought you were saying that you said it happened to you before.
Yeah,
I thought
it was a time where that was the case. I mean, unfortunately, but the thing is, that situation was totally different. She kind of had somebody else. So it was kind of like, I was dealing with somebody and then she had somebody, but we still kept fucking with each other. You know what I'm saying? So but we knew we cared about each other, So it's just one of them things. You just can't stop fucking with the person, But I mean, that was old stuff.
All right, what else we got, Jay?
We got our second question. Tamir from NYC. He wants to know, how do you keep enthusiasm when it comes to dating? His example is going through the routines of meeting someone you date.
Going through the what?
Going through the routines of meeting somebody, to date. I'm guessing if you, meet somebody on a dating app and, you meet for whatever, happy hour, whatever the case may be, how do you stay enthused there? I'm guessing that.
How do you stay enthused? I mean,
yeah, how do you keep enthusiasm when it comes to dating?
The process of dating is always going to be the same. You're meeting someone new, you're communicating, expressing interest, and then you linking up to do something. You know what I mean? Like the concept of it is really simple. If you hate the idea of that, then I don't really know what to tell you.
Learn your chick. Learn what she like, ask her buku questions, try to do stuff that she like, without her asking about it. Do simple shit that a normal guy that probably won't do. I mean, simple stuff like, dude, find out where she work. If she tell you, send her some flowers. You ain't got to know exactly where she work at in the building. Send her some flowers or do some sweet stuff. Hey, look, you know what? I'm going to take you this, be ready on Saturday at 8:00. Boom. Go drop off and go get a full body massage. Simple stuff, man. Stuff like that, man. I'm telling you, ladies love that because they be like, oh, wow, okay.
Right.
And
you don't have to spend a whole lot. You can get Groupon tickets and stuff like
$50. that. I got a spot. $50.
I thought the question was asking, how do you stay enthusiastic about experience, just being out dating. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
I
Like,
get it.
That's pretty much that was pretty much the question. I think, and I think the first thing when you're initially dating with is find out if you're compatible with the person or not. I think that's the first thing you should find out, because if you're not compatible, then it would not be practical to continue dating that person.
well, you
So you
might
don't want
not
to find
figure it
out.
out. You might not figure that out immediately, though.
You
But
won't. You
the
won't.
goal
You got
is
to go through
to,
some
to
shit.
interact and,
But
and do stuff that y'all can both enjoy. If you
Yeah.
can
yep,
enjoy, if you can go do 3 or 4 things that was fun while you was just getting to know somebody, even if y'all turn out that y'all not a couple, you still had fun. You still went to the amusement park. You still went here, or you experienced this. Like, make it about having fun and having pleasant experiences, and not so much happily ever after. Because
true.
it sounds like a question that would come from a hopeless romantic that is just waiting, like hoping that this is the one and hoping this is the one. Like, I that's the mindset that ultimately leads to constant heartbreak or constant disappointment.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad I've never been that anxious to fall in
Hopeless
love or anxious
romantic.
for a relationship. Yeah, man, that seems like a miserable place to be. You know what I mean? Um, because the way the world works, it's very unlikely that the next person you date is just gonna be the next person you date for the rest of your life, and don't that neither one of y'all ever sleep with nobody else. Like, that's a very, very, very small percent chance of happening. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what a lot of people are betting on every day. They waking up, affirmations. Today you're gonna meet your king, and you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, probably not. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the mentality and the perception of it is just don't
But
align with
what's
what you see in the real
but
world.
what what's even worse, you got people that actually sell this stuff. You got dating coaches that actually
They'll
sell
buy
this
it,
stuff to
man.
people, and people are buying this. That's what makes this even worse. So you're perpetuating the issue there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Look like we up against the clock, man. We about to take a break. When we come back, we'll be getting into our topic of the night: planning trips to Poundtown. I can't wait. We have a sex educator about to come on and drop some gems. Y'all are tuned into the Hold a Husband podcast. We'll be back momentarily. Hi, I'm certified relationship coach and author Terry DeRon, and I'm very pleased to announce the release of my first audiobook, It's Not That Complicated. If you're too busy to actually sit down and read, then this audiobook is perfect for you. You can actually listen to me break down chapter by chapter how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships. The book is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is search for my name or the title of the book. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. We have a very special guest with us tonight. We have Samia Burton, a hands-on sex educator on that dropped some gems. How you doing, ma'am?
I am doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. We feel real lucky to
Good.
have you on.
Yeah.
We think
Yeah.
our viewers are going to get a lot out of this conversation and your skill set. So we've been looking forward to this.
I'm
Uh,
excited. Let's do it.
all right, so we got to just jump right in. You done went viral off something that I had never heard explained that thoroughly. Like, I've heard, women, take their time and all that, but the analogies you use and the way that you broke it down had me mind blown. Can you bless our listeners with a summary of what you dropped on the what was the 85 South podcast, I believe?
Yes. So I recorded with the 85 South podcast, and they pretty much just want to know what I do, why I do it, and they let me pick in which way I wanted to present that information. And I just felt like a lot of this information has already been put out there, but yet the faking of orgasms is also still out there. So on some level, we're still not hitting home. The satisfaction rate for men and women is just not high enough, you know? And so it's
Very
like,
true.
okay, what do we want to present that's different? And when you dig deep and you kind of like have some vulnerability in there, you can ask yourself what's missing from your own sex life, because 9 times out of 10, somebody else has went through that exact same thing or going through it as well. You know what I mean? So I took my approach, and my approach is just real deal Holyfield. Like, this is the information, this is how you got to do it, and this is also what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you fix it. It's a step-by-step process, and I think the one thing that is included is accountability. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us are talking about what sex is or what sex isn't, but it's like, whatever it is or isn't, it is all on you. Your orgasm is your responsibility, and just presenting it in that way with a level of accountability and no shame, just like, look, there's no judgment. Let's just do better, you know? So interview was a hit, clearly. So,
What are the common problems you see with intimacy besides faking orgasms?
I feel like a lot of times we don't know how to say no, even when we want to do something. We feel like, I feel this personally, sometimes because we want to have sex, we think we have to have sex. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I think that the thing is missing is we don't know how to sit in that feeling of, damn, like, I really want this person, or
the
like,
sexual
just
tension.
That tension, we don't know how to sit in it. We don't know what to do with it. And so we make an act on somebody, and the sexual chemistry may not be fully downloaded yet. And so now it's like, when somebody send you a picture, but it's like, nah, airdrop it to me, it's kind of blurry. You know what I mean? The sex is kind of blurry, okay? It's not fully downloaded, if you ask me. I feel like that tension is not where it could be. It's like, as soon as we feel like we are in a sexual place, we just do it. You know what I mean? And
yeah, well, you know why? The time period that people date is a lot faster because everything in society is almost instant. And so I know I've talked to a lot of women where they feel pressured to have sex before the dude is moved on to the next chick or is showing attention elsewhere. How much do you think that plays a role into women having sex or consenting to sex before they're actually comfortable doing it?
I think that's a big part of it. One, because you also do want to have sex. Like, as women, we want it too. So it's like, okay, is this going to be somebody that I'm doing something with on the long term, or is this just for the now? Either way, I feel like, for me, you have to have a level of confidence to say, hey, I'm just not ready for that yet. I'm enjoying you right now. You know what I mean? But that also comes with being secure with openly dating. And this generation, to me, does not know how to date. It's so much possessiveness. And it's like, oh, you may go mess with somebody else. What does that have to do with me and what's meant for me? It really has nothing to do with that. And it's just like, yeah, go date. I want you. Because at the end of the day, I'm not doing nothing that I'm not ready to do yet. And I refuse to have bad sex. So I'm not doing it until I know it's a surefire thing. Like, I can count on my hand how many times somebody got me. Like, and I was like, I didn't see that coming. Like, it's very rarely. It's very rarely. It's we getting old. These Meg needs time. I need to know it's a sure thing. I'm
gonna get to some nasty questions. So
I like nasty. Okay.
So why some women, which I'm gonna say black women, I'm just gonna have to say that don't love to give head. What's the deal with that? Because I love it. I love it. I love it before sex, during sex, when I'm about to nut, all that. So why women don't like to do it? What's the problem with that?
I think that, well, of course I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like it's a couple of reasons. Either one, she just may be a pillow princess. That is a kink in itself. Like, just enjoying taking in pleasure.
Oh, okay. I was about
like
to
a
say,
starfish, like a starfish. Like a starfish.
Don't do nothing.
Nothing.
That's a foreign sex life.
That not necessarily, because sometimes it's her energy when she's receiving, and it's like, you heard what Isley Brother says, I like the way you receive me. When you messing with somebody and their reactions are on point, it makes you feel
turn you on.
Yeah, it does. But not just that, there's some people are pillow princesses. Two, some people lack knowledge, and it's easier to say I ain't doing that and make fun of it than to admit that you actually want to learn how to be better at it. And then I think the third reason, a lot of people are trying to suck dick that don't deserve to be sucked. And I feel that way. Like, you messing with somebody that's not shown you, you're not really giving oral in a way that you feel comfortable with. And by that, I mean, like, so maybe you have some women are different. Some people will give head even if they're just talking to someone consistently. And sometimes they're like, I just really prefer it be my partner. If you're messing with someone,
if the energy ain't there, like, to me, oral sex is like 90% how much the person wants to be doing it. Like, getting head from somebody that don't want to give you head is gonna be unpleasant. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be kind of depressing for sure.
Yeah, but somebody that is turned on by it, and the way you breathe and the way you sound and all that, those are the kind of conversations that I think you were alluding to when you said, you know, for a fact. Like, you can talk to somebody and you know for a fact they love sucking dick, so you know that blowjob is going to be A1 because of what their triggers are, what turns them on, how anxious they are to do it. That part of it comes with the conversation. You don't get that from a what you doing text every morning. That's where you got to take your conversation and your communication to the next level to tap into that type of intimacy with the woman. At least the dudes that's on my level do it.
I also want to hear about this warming up of the pussy, though.
What'd you say?
I also want to hear about this warming up of the pussy.
Facts. Well, just to go off what he was just saying, something else is that when it comes, if you keep giving head when you don't feel like doing it, you're messing up your ratios, and you're not going to even remember, do you like doing it or not doing it? And so for me, especially as a sexual educator, I only do stuff when I feel like doing it, when my whole heart is going to be in it. And because of that, I got 10s all the way down because I only do it when I'm in a 10 given mood. You know what I mean?
So I got a question about that. Because that's one of the issues that men have when it comes to commitment. They feel like women tune their sex down. Or, nah, I'm not in the mood. No, not right now. You don't think that would disrupt your situation if you only do things when you like you said, at 100%?
I think that it disrupts things when you have nothing else to do, when you're not feeling sexual, which is why you need to learn how to be intimate and communicate. You know, a lot of times the reason that your partner is not being receptive, that you aren't in the mood, is because even when you are in the mood, it's not worth that wait. It wasn't worth that wait. But if you say, I'm not really in the mood, baby, and I really don't want to give you half, but she remembers and comes back in a couple of days and was like, yeah, remember, I got a thing for you. And she go in, whenever she says she ain't in the mood, you're going to be like, it's okay, babe. See you in a couple of days. Like, it's gonna be okay, you know what I mean? Gotcha. But a lot of people are like, oh, I don't feel like this, I don't feel like that, and then you still never following through. So at some point, now you just want sex because you're not fulfilled. It's still not getting that cup not all the way full. You know what I mean? So very true. That's a big issue. Stick to it. Say no and explain why, and stick to it and follow up with it afterwards. And a couple days later when you made plans, just say, hey, I made a plan for you. I know that you've been in a mood. I done got my little hormones together, whatever's together, and here we are now. And you set it up. Following through. So. Okay. All right.
I have a. You go ahead, EP.
I asked my question.
You said you want to hear. You said you want to hear about warming.
Oh, yeah, the warming up of the pussy. Yeah, what you talked about. Like, I want to hear that for detail.
What's the question? I mean,
I thought it was you would talk about
the amount of time it takes for a woman to be fully aroused.
Yeah.
There were so many think pieces about me saying that. And it's just like, you know what? With the internet, they're going to always think that what you say just means one thing. And I'm like, y'all are so petty. Like, this is why the communication in relationships is so off. Is because somebody says something and you go on the deep end and say, no, that's what you said. That's what you said. Okay, you got it. But warming up the pussy, I feel like it's like crock pot pussy. It needs to slow cook if you want it to be done properly, right? So you can cook something in the oven and technically it'll be done, but it may not be as tender. It may not be falling off the bone. It may not melt in your mouth versus when you put something in a slow cooker and you put it in there all day, you're not rushing things. At the end of the day, arousal is nothing more than blood flow. And no matter what, when you do something more than once, it lacks an element of surprise that it used to have. So that blood flow is not going the same as it used to. You know what I mean? Like if it don't get your heart pumping, that's what butterflies is, getting your heart pumping, you know, feeling away. But things don't make us feel away all the time anymore. Like it wears off. And so when you have 18 to 40 minutes, not only are you making sure the blood flow is completely going, but you're making sure that it's not going to stop mid, you know, sexual act. You know what I mean? You ever started having sex and then like you maybe you were hard, but then like soon as y'all started doing something, it kind of just like got soft. Like it just went down and you was like, dang, you didn't give yourself time either. Like it got on hard and so you immediately acted. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's ready. It wasn't fully ready. Just because the pizza roll hot on the outside don't mean it's gonna be hot on the inside. Like it's not fully ready. And when people look at bodies, the body signs, they're like, oh, your pussy dry, take 18 minutes. I did not say anything about it takes 18 minutes for your pussy to get wet. I said for it to be ready, meaning ready for orgasm. But all these think pieces is exactly why still over 60% of women are faking orgasms. It can't be both. I can't be wrong.
Have you ever faked the orgasm? Have you ever faked the orgasm?
Back in the day, like we talking about a child at some point.
So,
I'm 18.
But you got some women that can't catch orgasms. They don't know.
And I wanted to ask you that. I always thought that was women that it was a mental thing, like they were not pleased or they disliked something about the sex. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because it was an experience. It was an experience I had with a couple women. I'm gonna be honest. We had sex for a time period, and we did everything. I ate the pussy. I did all types of shit, and she just could not orgasm. And no, I don't have no average whatever, penis, but still, she couldn't. It was, and it wasn't just her. It was so weird. It was so weird.
Well, the thing is that an orgasm may not happen in every sexual encounter. Y'all never had sex and it was good, but you didn't come, and you was like, "I'll definitely do it again." I don't know what was up, but whatever. What I do know is that our sexual cycles are very, very different, okay? So we all start off with that desire, and then we have arousal, we have orgasm, and then we have the refractory period where your body needs that rest and recovery. Most of you all's time is on the back end, refractory recovery.
Men.
But nobody...
When you say you all, you're talking about men.
For penis holders, yes.
Yeah.
For penis owners. So
you gotta be careful how you use that. Penis owners is that it's a slippery slope in 2024.
I don't know. You can't personalize everything, so it's just easier to teach on the body parts. So with vulva owners, it takes them longer to get to the arousal state. But at the end of the day, their refractory period is much shorter, so they can go again sooner.
Does that mean longer foreplay or just more intimacy, just chilling, touching, etc.?
Well, it depends what's foreplay for you. So I'm a sapiosexual, which means that mind things turn me on. Like mind fucking, for lack of better words, turns me on. I don't even need the touch necessarily. But that's because that type of talking does turn me on. Foreplay is anything that can turn you on. Reading may turn you on. You know what I'm saying? Like intimate acts together. But it starts all day. You getting somebody in a mood that their heart rate is going to quicken. You see what I'm saying? And it's doing it for long enough so that way there is pressure behind that blood flow for an orgasm to happen. Yeah. There is not enough pressure behind this blood flow. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what are things what are techniques you use to bridge the gap for women getting turned on and having orgasms?
So what are some things to help make 18 to 40 minutes go by faster?
You can put it that way, yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Well, I'm just saying. So you say a lot of women fake. You say a lot of women fake orgasms, right? So what are techniques do you use when you're coaching somebody to bridge that gap?
To actually have the orgasms.
Actually have the orgasm. Yep. I mean, it's kind of what I'm saying that, okay, fill in the 18 to 40 minutes. So I'm taking from that, you want examples, because my answer is to give more time. Some things that you can do in that time: give a massage, have a talk, have a bath, a foot rub, a yoni massage, or a linga massage. You know, there are all these different type of, even tantric orgasmic breathing. A lot of people don't even know how to breathe. As soon as they get aroused, it's guess what? Your blood don't work like that when you're not giving it enough oxygen. So there are so many issues. Everybody's trying to add to their sex life before perfecting the basics of what the science takes. It takes blood flowing. So what are you doing to get the blood flowing? And are you keeping it flowing? You know what I mean? It's like a generator for your body, you know?
I've never, it's so interesting to hear you break it down like that. Like, because even though I guess it's like common sense that, you know, penis, you know, is filled with blood and all that, you breaking down the what gets it flowing and why that's important. I think that's kind of the missing link for understanding.
And also, you can't even be mad at it when someone fakes an orgasm with you. You have no reason to ask what went wrong. So if all these people, if 60% of people been saying one thing, it's like, you're lying. Like, somebody would have been told me, like, I ain't never had no complaints before. Think about it. You just like, are you serious? Like, it's really hard to believe, and I get it. But sex is like a bicycle. You know how you pedal when you're on that hill? And then if you don't pedal enough, you're not going to have enough speed to go down that hill without having to pedal again. You're going to keep having to pedal. If you only pedal twice, your bike not going to flow by itself. You know, you're not going to be able to coast. You got to pump enough into it for it to glide for a little bit, you know?
Now, I wanted to ask you a question just in general, based off your interactions with other women, you know, professionally and personally. What would you say women would place more value in? A dude who has a reputation for blowing chicks back out, or a dude that has a reputation for snatching souls with his mouthpiece?
So which one is better, the mouth or the word? Okay. It depends on the woman. It depends on the woman, because goodness, some of y'all don't miss with the magic stick, okay? Some of y'all just don't miss. It may be curved. It's just made right for her body. It just fit in there perfect like a glove, you know? Right. It depends what the skills are. I can't say that, oh, intercourse matters more than oral, and then the person's, or it depends on the person and how we match, because I've had great oral from someone and still didn't, you know, but I still knew they were doing what they were doing, but sometimes it just doesn't. And I think we need to start understanding that sometimes sex does not include an orgasm. Sometimes it doesn't, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't. There are so many other things. Like, why are you not finishing with a toy? If at the end of sex she didn't finish, why are you not pulling out the toy to make sure she at least finished, so she don't got blue coochie?
I think a lot of dudes are intimidated by that. Like, they feel threatened by a woman using toys or vibrators or whatnot. They feel like it's gay, or it's intruding on their sexuality to some degree.
Yeah.
Some of them
I feel like that's how everybody wants to know, like, how do you even snatch a soul? Thoroughness goes farther than whatever skill that you have, because at the end of the day, whoever supplies the orgasm can claim the orgasm. If you used a toy on her, fingers on her, whatever, at the end of the day, she didn't do it, and she got to relax while she received pleasure. You know what I mean? So she's still gonna associate, dang, it was a good time. Like, she finished. That is, and most people just they just stop, and it's like, why not just finish it another way?
A lot of guys are miseducated or misled by dudes in the hood and stuff, like they really believe that a woman screaming in pain or running from the dick is signs that they doing something right. I've always felt like that's a sign that the woman's in pain and she's not liking the sex. What are your thoughts on a woman running from the dick or trying to get away from the dude she's fucking?
Again, everybody is different, but
used to that monster shit.
She might not be. She might not be. And also, like, everybody's uterus is not like the same way. Some people have tilted ones and things like that. Like, so whatever position may work for one partner may not work for another one. And it's not because it's wrong, it's because our bodies are different. You know what I mean? Right. Also, people feel like, oh, I do one position, this is how I have to do it. Like, there are 10 different ways to do missionary. You know what I mean? But it's still considered missionary. But we try one thing, and we just don't listen to our bodies, and we're scared to speak up and make adjustments during the sex. We don't know how to critique and say, hey, babe, can you actually adjust this way? Like, because we're just so scared to say something to our partner. We so like, why are we shook to talk to each other? Why?
Negative feedback, I would imagine. Looks like
I don't even think that's negative. There is something about the most attractive feature that a partner can have for me is being able to listen to me and then say, oh, okay, can I try this like this way? It's not good or bad. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, when it happens, are we really in this for the orgasm, for the pleasure? Or are you in this so you could be right? Like, if that's the case, you might as well just do it yourself. But you should go in expecting to get feedback. I would literally think if I mess with somebody and they had no feedback from me, oh, you just faking it. And I'm uninterested now because now we cannot have our best because you won't speak up. Right. Like why would you go into sex expecting to hear nothing? That don't mean you bad at it. It's a thing you got to customize. Sex is customizable. You buy it regular. But when you do it with somebody, you like, oh, okay, what adjustments? You know, like.
All right. We are up against the clock. So before we get out of here, can you let our viewers know where they can find your content and your material?
Absolutely. My website is thesexualessentials.com. Most people find me on Instagram because I do a lot of free teaching there. If you check the link in my bio, I teach on Patreon, which is a learning platform. I have almost 200 videos there about intimacy, different actual workshops, classes, guest teachers, interviews, live orgasmic demonstrations, all types of things, pussy eating classes on there. And then I have master classes for dick riding, mouth master class, and masturbation and squirting, which are separate. And that's pretty much how you find me. And I teach online, and that's what I do. So you come to class and you bring a dildo to class. When you're watching these videos, you're watching with a partner. So many different types of ways to orgasm are on my Patreon, things that we've never tried. And, you know, when you do something new, your heart quicken in a different type of way. And, you know, just like that new feeling. It's almost like that new sex feeling. Like when you got a new partner, you know, when you, for the first time, it usually be so exciting because you don't really feel that often. Yeah. And that's what Patreon does. It really opens you up to different types of things, like culturally, even sex-wise, like tantra and so many things. It's amazing.
Very, very interesting. All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on. We definitely enjoyed the conversation. Before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Production, for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue donating to the podcast through our PayPal and our Cash App. JEB, man, I appreciate y'all linking up with me to get this done. This has been a great episode. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Peace. Perfect. Thank you.